washer and my fridge going in the background. All right, hi everyone. I have 2 people here already. Hi you guys. So I'll give people a couple more minutes before we start. We'll go ahead and mix the micas up that are going in the soap today and the soap colorant. I need olive oil for this though. So since we're making the hot chocolate soap, the fragrance oil like discolors the soap. So if I were to use just a fragrance oil in the soap, it would be like a weird muddy brown color. So I'm going to put in a brown mica. Here, can we see? Yeah, sorry. The sun was reflecting on it. So we're going to do about 2 teaspoons of brown mica and then add olive oil to it to disperse it. So when I add it to the soap, it mixes in easily. Let's see. That's probably close to 2 teaspoons. And add in a tiny bit of olive oil. And then today I have everything already set up for the soap making. If you missed my other class, I will link it in the description. It's the basic soap making class that goes over all the steps start to finish. Today we're just going to be mixing all the colors and I'm showing you how to pour and do the designs in it and on top. And then here I've got titanium dioxide, which does white, so that will be for, let's see if you can see, I have the white swirls in the soap and then the white piped on top. So we use titanium dioxide for that one. Maybe. Oh, it's messy. I forget. This one gets everywhere and it like sticks to your skin. So be prepared to be a mess if you use titanium dioxide. And again, I'll probably do about a teaspoon of this in here. I'm just guessing. Yeah, as you can see, it like coats everything. You have to use soap to get this one off. Not bad for you or anything, just a mess. And then I'm also doing gold. The gold in the soap turns to this like design purposes. And I'm not using as much gold. So like a teaspoon of the gold or less in there. Now for the 2 micas, which are the gold and the brown, they get the olive oil, and then the titanium dioxide gets water added to it because it disperses better in water than oil. These on. I just mix with the chopstick. Mix the oil and the micas together until they're nice and incorporated. This one's gonna need more oil. And then I just start with the lightest color to the darkest. And that's just so that I don't have to wash what I'm using in between. There. Here we go. Let's see if that makes it better. Yeah. Let's see if I can show you guys my mixing. One day I'll be able to set up a camera and do this, but YouTube doesn't let me right now. All right, so that is the gold. Let me mix this brown one up. Again, gonna need more oil. There we go. Okay, I've got the brown one all mixed up, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of water to this titanium dioxide. And use the other end of my chopstick to mix that one. So one of the things that I do when I make a soap with a design is I've pre-done everything partially so that it's at the right temperature for us and we're not sitting here for like 2 hours waiting for everything to cool down. You want to soap at room temperature. So I have this, my oil, I'm tilting it down so you guys can see what I'm doing now. My oil is at, it's a little warmer than room temperature. It's 80 degrees. And then my lye solution over here is at 74 degrees. So I'm going to put on my gloves and get my lye solution and mix it into my oils. And the reason that you want to soap at a lower temperature to make designs is that the soap does not set up as quickly, so you have more time to make it pretty the way you want it to be. All right, so I've added in all of my lye solution here. And then I grab my little stick blender. And then always tap it on the bottom to get the air bubbles out so you don't end up with air bubbles in your soap. All right, make sure it's on low. And just blend this together to a light trace, so just where the oils are combined with the lye. You don't want to go any more than that because we're trying to keep this nice and liquid to do the design for this soap. All right, there we go. See how it's still running? But if you try to tip this, there's no oil floating on the top of the soap batter. Awesome. And I'm going to set this on the paper towel over here. So next I'm adding in my fragrance oil, and I am using, let me grab it, I'm using this hot cocoa fragrance from Nature's Garden. It smells really, really good. And fragrance oil, I've already pre-measured it. So I'm going to add it in, and then to mix this in, I'm using the spatula and not the stick blender. And again, using the spatula just helps prevent it from thickening up too quickly. So mix this in with the spatula. Okay. Oh no. I meant to pour off. I made a mistake. I should have poured some of this off before I added in the fragrance oil because I needed to, because this discolors, so I won't be able to do the top white. It's okay. We'll just make a fun design on the top with the chocolate color. It'll be a little different than the other one. This is what happens. Oh, that means I won't get a white swirl. We'll just have a lot of caramel colored swirl. It'll still be beautiful. All right, so I poured that off. And in this big one, I'm going to add my brown. In the little one, I will add the gold caramelly color. Then I stick blend. I start with the gold one and stick blend that one first. All right. And then I move on to my brown color. All right. Put this down so it doesn't make a big mess. Now comes the fun part. We get to pour it all. So I'm going to be doing something called a drop swirl for this one. So what I do is I add in my base color, which is this brown here. I pour this one in first, and I fill it about, here, let's see if we can see. It's hard to tell because I have to tilt it. I fill it about a quarter of the way. And then I get my gold one here, and I start out a little low and go back and forth, just drizzling it. And as you raise like your height of it, it changes how deep the color goes in. closer, the less deep it goes, the higher up, the deeper the color will go in your soap. And then I add in some more of the brown. And I fill it almost to the top. And then I will finish adding in this gold color. And just alternating height. So you get different levels in the soap and it just makes it look pretty. All right. Grab my spatula and scrape this out. And then since I messed up and I forgot to pour off the white, we're going to use the chocolate color to do the top frosting part on this soap today. So what I will do is stick blend this to get it a little bit thicker so that it goes into until it thickens up enough for me. We're still pretty runny. All right, I'm gonna let that set for a couple minutes, and while that's setting, I'm gonna show you how I prepare the bag to add like the gold swirl on it. So I'm going to add in here more of my gold, which is right here. Or I'm gonna spray gold all over the countertop. Okay, adding in the gold. Add in a little bit more olive oil. Mix this together nicely. Okay, and then I have my piping bag right here. In a cup. Here, let me move the soap out of the way for now. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to carefully pour a couple drizzles down the inside of the piping bag of this gold, and that will add gold to the side of the soap as it comes out of my piping bag. All right, we have some gold drizzles. This is setting up, so I'm gonna go ahead and add this into my piping bag. It'll be a little loose for this video, but it'll be okay. And then this brown color, it doesn't look super dark right now, but it will really darken as it sets up overnight. And once I cut it, it starts drying. So adding in all the rest of my soap here. All right, here is the soap. And then I'm gonna move this back over so you guys can see the piping. Use this kind of smooth the top just a little. All right, I'm gonna pick up my piping bag. Let the excess oil part drip out. It'll be a little runny. All right, and then, yeah, it's a little runny right now, but I just start piping. And since it's a little runny, the gold's kind of mixing in with it. I should have let it sit up a little bit more, but we would have been here for 40 minutes while this set up, so we're going with it. There we go. And I just pipe across the top. All right, I'm gonna let this set up a little bit more and finish the rest up here in a minute, but I just wanted to show some of the piping that I do. Let me tilt this. So as you can see, making decorative soap is actually pretty simple. This is a really quick and easy one, especially if you remember to do the steps in the right order and not get ahead of yourself like I did today. But yeah, anytime you deal with a fragrance oil that is like a sweeter scent, like a vanilla or a chocolate or something, generally it's going to make your soap darker in the end. So always plan on using dark colors in your soap. So thank you guys for joining me here today. And if you have any questions, you can ask them on here later or ask them in the group and I can answer them for you. All right, I'll catch you all later.